Howdy. Welcome to Young Earth Today 2029 Truth Memes for a Young Earth Rapid Fire Edition. Happy 2024. This year during the total solar eclipse, one of the best places to see it is on the southeast corner of Oklahoma. There you go, Oklahoma. And two towns that are nearby are Hugo, Oklahoma. I've spent some time there, and Paris, Texas. I've just driven through there. And interestingly, there's a connection with young Earth. As the story goes, nuclear fusion powers the sun and sends out tens of thousands of neutrinos. The number of neutrinos from the sun is as low as 1/3 in some measurements. Could this fact indicate a young sun? Contrary to what big science tells us, our book is a young Earth possible. It has a whole chapter on arguing for a young solar system. Now, to memes, of course, that's the creation of Dawkins. So, how did he define it? Is he selfish? And I'm so shellfish that I could eat crabs every single day. So, let's quote his description. Examples of memes are tunes, ideas, catchphrases, fashions, ways to making pots or building arches, just as genes propagate themselves in gene pool by linking from body to body via sperms or eggs. So memes propagate themselves in the meme pool by leaping from brain to brain via a process which in a broad sense could be imitation. Unquote. I hope that the young Earth meme goes viral. How about that young Earth meme? The young Earth meme. Yes, I do hope that it goes viral. And of course, this is from the famous book, The Selfish Gene. Maybe you know some people named Gene, so you can ask them, are you selfish? All right. Now, science changes and makes mistakes. Madame, who passed in 1997, was a physicist who should have got the Nobel Prize. However, they do have a nice postage stamp there, so how about that? So get your postage stamp for Madame. And she was with the Manhattan Project. But since 1925, it was widely assumed that parity is conserved in all types of interactions. Dr. Booth showed that a spinning cobalt-60 nucleus has a beta emission distribution that is not the same for its mirror image. Thus, parity is not conserved. Now, that's an unknown fact that I only learned recently myself. So maybe radio decay process, which is generally thought to be constant all the time, does not change. Notice the title here from New Scientist, Half-Life, Heresy, Accelerating Radio Decay from 2006. So, the German scientist is Klaus Wolfs, a physicist from Ruhr University in Bochum, Germany. And he proposes that if you put certain radioisotopes in metal casing and put them near 0 degrees Kelvin, that you can slash the half-life from thousands of years to just a few years. The half-life for the rubidium to strontium process is generally regarded around 49 billion years. However, some measurements put that figure higher at 62 billion years. Now, the 15th most common element in the Earth is strontium, while the 23rd is rubidium. How do those radioactive abundances make any sense? Recall that Big Bang folk think we started out with hydrogen, helium, and lithium, those three. Well, you might as well claim to turn straw into gold. So, there you go. And the conclusion of his book, Earth's Deep History, great book, Martin John Spencer Rudwick, he said this: many of the interpretations summarized towards the end of the narrative, that is, that book, refer very much to work in progress. How, when, and whether relevant scientists will reach a consensus on these matters, and what will it be, remain to be seen. There is no reason to treat the present state of knowledge about Earth history as the definite truth with a capital T for all time, any more than a previous generation of scientists would have been justified in thinking in the same way about their own ideas. The phrase, "but now we know that," which is often used by scientists to dismiss or ridicule the conclusions of their predecessors, is always liable to return uninvited and embarrass them a year, a decade, or a century later, unquote. Rudwick is a professing Christian, So you'd think he would be young earth, since Jesus said, at the beginning of creation, God made the male and female. That's Mark 10:6. You could also look at Mark 13:19 and 20, and Luke 11:50 and 51. And now for a word from our sponsor, Westminster Wasp, and hashtag at the front, Westminster Wasp, and there they are. And you might think of it as an alternative to the Babylon Bee. So just search Westminster Wasp, all strung together with a hashtag on front on LinkedIn. Thank you for your support. Meme that, Elon Musk. So you find young Earth in the most amazing places. In October of last year, there was an Origins conference in Phoenix. NASA astronaut Colonel Jeffrey Williams spoke along with Kyle Mann of the Babylon Bee. Matt Miles of Creation Truth Foundation right here in Oklahoma was also part of the event. They ran the VBS at our church a couple years ago. Hi, Matt. Kyle Mann is pretty cool and funny. Former atheist turns into a young Earth advocate. Dr. Jim Mason, BS Engineering, Physics from Queen's University, Ontario, and PhD in Experimental Nuclear Physics from McMaster, Ontario. He worked for the defense field for many decades and is pro young Earth. Even Marvin Olasky of World Magazine was willing to put the following book in his shortlist for the 2019 Book of the Year. And that's Rethinking Radiometric Dating by physicist Vernon Kupps, which of course favors a youthful world. Before he was House Speaker, Mike Johnson represented the Ark Encounter, that's in Kentucky, in court. If you search the following on all the internet, you get some keen results. Young Earth in quotes, and then 2024. The second item is The Young Earth by John D. Morris, who passed in January of last year. He taught at the in the geological department at OU. Boomer sooner, everybody. I would be humbly suggest that my two books, Supporting Youthful World, are among the two best Young Earth resources that argue from history and science. Of course, the first was that I mentioned was Is the Young Earth Possible? And then before that, I wrote this. Hopefully, more sales will get it. Appreciate your support and buy that. Yes, Young Earth Science, and I appreciate that. Both arguing for Young Earth from history and science. So it'd be great if those could get tons and tons of sales. Appreciate your help. Don McElroy is a dentist, and he received his DDS from UT Houston and earned a BS in electrical engineering from Texas A&M. Dr. McElroy takes the Young Earth view and was at one time the chairman of the Texas State Board of Education. How about that? Now you're thinking, what about the young people? Surely they've forgotten about creation in 6 days, global flood, a youthful world. Au contraire, mon ami. In a 2015 survey in the U.S., a majority of those in their 20s hold that the Ark was really built and not just the legend. You may have joined Ozzy and visited the Ark Encounter in Kentucky. It's on my bucket list. Depending on how you judge the cubit, the Ark, my father helped me build this, the Ark was 450 feet long, 75 feet wide, and 45 feet tall. So those are the dimensions of the Ark, depending on how you judge the cubit. Now, we want you to support Young Earth Science. That's at Young Earth Sci on X. Appreciate it. Young Earth Science at Young Earth Sci on X. And of course, the E is patterned after the Cambrian symbol. Some might say that Young Earth Science is not a thing since it's seldom discussed in legit academic literature. However, if you search Young Earth Science in quotes on Yandex, you get 11 results on the first page. So it depends on where you search to get your information. I do encourage you to do your own research, DYOR, which sounds like a fashion name, back to fashion again. And memes, and Dawkins. All right, thank you, Dawkins. Clap, clap for Dawkins. Meme is a cool word. So, Young Earth Science on Rumble, in quotes, you'll get some cool stuff. And Young Earth Science on Swiss cows. But look under images, you'll get some really cool things. Now for some Young Earth evidence. If you look at the magnetic rocks on the moon, that is very, very hard to explain from the old Earth approach. The well-known dolomite problem is that the dolomite is fairly common in the rock record, yet you need to be above the boiling point of water for precipitation to occur. And that's also called calcium magnesium carbonate. During the global catastrophe that Cuvier and worldwide flood legends point to, they would have expected volcanism and rapid plate movements, not the slow stuff we see today or RPMs. resulting in a very hot sea. See all that sea over there? Hot. So catastrophism naturally leads to younger science, everybody. So it naturally leads to younger science because each of the rock layers happen quickly. We don't really see the millions of years between the layers like in the Grand Canyon. Just look up paraconformity. And so most of it happened during the single catastrophe of just a few thousand years ago. So genetic entropy shows that humans cannot have been around for tens of thousands of years. And the current rates persist for various elements flowing into the sea. So you have all these rivers and the different elements go out into the sea. The sea fills up with lead and this, that, and the other. And so we can date it. So if we do that with lead, we get 2,000 years. But obviously that's too short. But the rates vary. That's the whole point. Aluminum, you get 100 years. And for titanium, you get 160 years. So that's kind of a mystery of history. But how in the world do we explain it? The point is that rates vary, and that includes radioactive decay rates. I make the point in Is a Young Earth Possible about manganese nodules, and that shows that the sea is young, and I think it's a very strong argument. Manganese nodules on the ocean. It's in my book. So please check it out and get your copy today. So if we look at nickel flow into the ocean, that gives an age of around 8,000 years. At the current rates, of course. Too much nickel is toxic to marine life. And of course, some of the nickel goes into, a small amount goes into the manganese nodules. So the next time you see a headline on the National Enquirer and it says, scientists say, young Earth. Well, that could happen, who knows. But read the article, do your own research, DYOR, like I said, kind of back to fashion again. And so please like and subscribe. And remember, the gospel is handy. Go to my site. We appreciate you doing that. And it's real simple. It's just totalyouth.us. One more time. That's totalyouth.us. And check out my blog, my books, and my podcasts and videos. And also you can contact me through that site. Near the top, there's a contact dealie. So appreciate that. And thank you. Have a great day. And we'll see you next time on Young Earth Today. Bye.